and welcome to Cooking Time. I'm David Martone, Executive Chef at Classic Time Cooking School here in Westfield, New Jersey. And today we have an interesting show for you. I thought about growing up as a child in Jersey City and some of the great sandwiches and some of the great dishes that I had. And some of the stuff is, kind of breeds out of leftovers. But my dad made the best sandwiches. He would make sandwiches that were just way too big to even fit in your mouth. I remember getting an email recently from a friend of mine, and he said, "Remember those big hamburgers your dad used to make? I can't even remember all the stuff was on it." He said, "We had to eat it with a knife and a fork. It was so big." So today I thought I'd make a couple of interesting sandwiches. Nothing too wild, but I think they're great. I'm going to start off with making a couple things that I need to have for the sandwiches. I have some leftover pork loin, not tenderloin, the big center cut pork loin. And we're going to make a sandwich out of that, but that's a sandwich that I've always had with some cranberry sauce. So I'm going to make some fresh cranberry sauce. So I've got fresh cranberries in a pot. I'm going to throw a little bit of sugar. I'm going to put a little bit of orange liqueur, it's just triple sec. And then I'm going to put a little bit of water just to get this going, just a drop. I'm going to kick this heat up a little bit. And I need to chop a couple of ingredients. A little bit of crystallized ginger. Cut this in nice little matchstick size julienne, and then I'll cut it across that. And we'll have tiny little dice of this crystallized, kind of like a candied ginger. That's going to be just great for this cranberry sauce. I mean, you can buy a can of cranberry sauce, but I happened to see cranberries today, so I figured, you know what? Let's keep it as good as it gets. Remember, the better the ingredients going in, the better the dish when you're done. There's our crystallized ginger. Now we need some zest from an orange. Just going to shred this right over the top. Okay. I'm going to put a lid on this, and we'll have to keep an eye on this because we don't want that liquid to evaporate down. Get rid of our orange here. Okay, now we can set that aside, and that's all we need to do for our pork sandwich right now. Next, I'm going to make a traditional Polish dish called bigos. Let me just rinse my knife off here. Ginger's not customary to the bigos, so I don't want to have any on my knife. Just flip my board over. Bigos is a Polish dish. Really means like hunter stew. That's what everybody thinks of when they think of bigos. We're taking a piece of kibasi. Kibasi is a Polish sausage. You can use fresh or you can use smoked. I happen to have a piece that was fresh, and I simply poached it in some water for about 35 minutes. And I'm going to cube that up. This is a wonderful, wonderful dish that is some meat cooked in some sauerkraut. And I'm going to make actually a Reuben sandwich out of this. I kind of came up with this one time when I made the bigos, and to me it made the most awesome Reuben I ever had in my life. Up until that point when I made this Reuben, the best Reuben I've ever had, is at a place down in South Jersey called Kelly's. Anybody my age knows Kelly's. It's a real old place down the shore, and great Reuben sandwiches and kind of like pub food. So we have our kibasi all sauteed up, chopped up. I'm adding some chopped onion to some butter that I have going in my pan here. I'm going to chop some garlic, and the next ingredient might throw you. We're going to chop up some green apple. Green apple is going to add a nice little bit of sweetness to this that's going to kind of balance out the sour of the sauerkraut that's in this dish. So far we have onion, and then we'll put our garlic in. that sauteing nicely. Every last little bit of that garlic. Get a wooden spoon to stir that. We want our onion to get nice and tender with our garlic. It'll mellow out the flavors. And we'll start peeling our apple. We're going to cut the apple into little cubes. The apple kind of melts in there. It's delicious, delicious. Bigos, first time I had it, we took my father-in-law out to dinner at a place, I'm not even sure if the place is still in existence. It was in Linden called Big Stashes. And it was the first time I had ever been there. And we ordered bigos as an appetizer to taste. My father-in-law said, oh, it's just a great, great kind of homey dish. And of course we had pierogies and kielbasa and wonderful other things as well. Pierogies come with just such an assortment of fillings. They're incredible, from cheese to meat to mushroom to sauerkraut to potato and cheese. Okay, so we'll cut this apple. We'll cut the little core out. We'll cut the little seed pocket out. You can do this also with a melon baller. This one's being a little stubborn. You need to go right around. I should have did that in the first place. There, it popped right out. Bigos needs to really cook down for a while, so I have some already made, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. But yeah, we went to Big Stashes, and that was my first bigos experience. And shortly after, of course, I had to just figure out how to make it myself. And I've been making it ever since. And then thought to myself, gee, what's in a Reuben sandwich? Well, you have corned beef, and you have sauerkraut, and you have Thousand Island dressing, and you have Swiss cheese over the top. So I thought about the bigos, and usually when I get a Reuben, there's too much corned beef for me. It's always the case. You think of the way you would like it if you were to make it yourself. And I thought, gee, this has the meat already in it, the bigos. I guess this would work for a great Reuben. And I tried it, and it was like an epiphany. It was like one of the greatest things. Let's get rid of some of our other garbage here. Our apple peels. Rinse our hands. Okay, so we have onion, garlic, and green apple cooking here. Onions getting nice and tender, and like I said, this apple will really kind of melt in here. Okay, I'm going to add up my chopped kielbasa in here. And growing up in Jersey City, we had a great market on Newark Avenue called Goody Meat Market. I think the butcher's name was Cy Slade. And he actually lived in Linden. See how you get to know people when you live in Jersey City, you know everything. All roads lead back to Jersey City for me. I'm cutting up some smoked pork. These are slices of smoked pork chop. But Cy Slade made his own kielbasa. He smoked it. He had it fresh. He made his own pierogi. And he was just a wonderful, wonderful butcher. And I used to go down there on a Saturday morning and, kind of hang out there for an hour and order meats that I would use during the week. So we put our pork in with our kielbasa. Stir this around a bit. Get it all nice and warmed up so it's starting to cook. The apples are starting to get a little bit more mellow in color, telling me that the heat is going through them. And now my sauerkraut. Now I want to mix this up